Hello and good morning. It's Suzanne. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Oh my goodness, we are just flying through this month again. And today I want to talk to you about the secret to weight loss. And I know you've probably heard it all before. There's a secret. We can do this, we can do that, we can eat this, we can move that way. But you know what? Something that a lot of people just do not really take into account is time. Giving yourself the gift of time is the best thing that you can do, the most precious gift that you can give yourself in all aspects of life. I found this quote by Deepak Chopra: treat every moment as a gift. That is why it's called the present. Don't you love it? Yes, every moment is a gift. And in our busy, rushing world, we just spend way too much time not in the present. We spend a lot of time thinking about what we need to do, thinking about what we haven't done, and not really being present in this moment. So a common thread that I find when I'm working with clients is that there's so much going on in their life. You know, they're very busy people. They're busy working. They're busy, family life. They're busy socially. There's just, they're busy doing so many things, but most of it is for other people, not so much for themselves. And this can become, quite overwhelming. And, if anyone out there who's listening, I'd love you to put, let us know, yes, do you feel overwhelmed by life? Do you have a massive to-do list? Is your to-do list constantly growing? Something drops off, and so something else needs to go onto it. And sometimes there are things at the top of the list that have been there forever, because you just can't get to it, or you've swapped it around the other way, depending on what your perception is. But the list is always a long list if you're working from a to-do list, or it might just be a list in your head that you're constantly thinking about what is the next thing to do. And I've talked about this before, but it's pretty much a theme for this month being Slowtober, which is a theme that we've coined in our Facebook, in our Goals Club group, because everyone's rushing. And it's called Rushing Women Syndrome. And there's an amazing book. I do actually have it. Hang on a minute. I've had it at home, but it's by Dr. Libby Weaver. So if you are, and you can get it on Audible too. So this is a fabulous book, and it really gives you amazing insights into, what is rushing women syndrome? Do you fall into that category, and how is that really affecting you? Because we are so busy, we don't even really listen to our body. We don't listen to the signals of, what it's trying to tell us. And what our body is trying to tell us has a brilliant reason for the symptom, and it's trying to tell us where we can find the answer, so that we can get to the root cause of what is driving behaviors that aren't helpful for you. But of course, you need to be aware of these things first. Oftentimes we are very unaware, and we just do, and we don't really think about it. So and that's where, our approach here, as a weight loss coach, and within the Mind Body Weight, the Mind Body Weight Reset program, is very unique, because we get to the root cause. We're not about diets. We want to help you to be the healthiest and best version of you, but it's an inside job. We need to start from the inside, and then the weight will start to manage itself unbelievably so. Yes, I have clients that say to me, oh, this is just my new normal. I know what to do now. I actually don't have to think about it. It's not all consuming in their head. So what I want to talk to you today about 3 areas that I've identified that are pretty crucial to overcoming, overcoming weight gain, or the inability to manage their weight, if that is my client's main focus. And I want to highlight the effects of our body, and what that does, which is really being tired and wired. You can just be so tired, but still be thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. So, what all this is doing is creating a lot of stress, either in your face stress or it's underlying. We've been doing it for so long, we don't even know that our body is working under a highly stressed state. We become very resilient, but that's not a good thing. Stress can be create a lot of dis-ease in our body, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But the things that I want to go through are just a few areas that we work in the weight loss puzzle. And so it's about, I'm going to be talking a little bit about stress and how it affects your body. I want to talk about rushing and how that affects your digestion. And I want to talk about time, giving yourself the gift of time and what it does if you are putting yourself under time pressure, and how that affects your perception of time. But what can you do? All of these things, I have a brilliant antidote for them. So the first thing, how does stress affect your body? Now, I've had women come to me and say, no, I'm not stressed at all. It's nothing happening in my world. I'm cool as a cucumber. And look, that may be so, but I still think that that's a perception of, well, what's in your face stress? And if there's nothing in your face stress, well, yeah, maybe I'm not stressed. But there's lots of underlying things and things that we don't even realize. And, when it comes to weight and its gain, simply eating fast can put your body into the stress response. But, many of us have been or going through or know someone that's had a major life change. That's stressful. Maybe it's a job change. Maybe it's moving state, moving towns, death or divorce, relationship challenges, financial worries, challenges with children and family. These may be ongoing things that you haven't really, registered as a stressor in your life. It's just how you do life. It's what you need to work with or work through. So any of these stress levels can alter your perception of time. Now, this is based in science and biology, that it appears that time is going faster for many people. I know that some people will say, oh, look, when I'm busy, time goes just like that. But I want you to think about, are you busy and enjoying your day? Like, is it something that you're engrossed in? It feels good. It's, it may be a passion of yours and time just disappears. But, and, for some people, their perception is it's actually, they've had more time. But for others who are in a stress state, they feel like time is just, instead of having this much time, they've only got this much time. And that's how our body is wired. If we're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, we need to take fast action. Our body needs to speed up in order for us to run away or fight. So for many people, being in a highly stressed state, the perception of time is that there is not enough time. We're always trying to do things at warp speed. So when our mind is in a constant state of stress, it's creating at a very conscious and unconscious level stress chemistry, so which is the production of cortisol and insulin. And what this does, it's part of the body enacting a survival response. So the body thinks if it's in a stress state, there must be danger, because funnily enough, that any high emotion is really only designed to last in our body for 60 to 90 minutes. Sadness, I think, is about 4 days. But then it's supposed to go. We as humans and any animal in the wild is not supposed to hang on to the energy of high emotion. It rises, we do what we need to do, and then it needs to fall for our body to, function in the way that it was meant to. But in this day and age, where many of us are under a very high level of stress. So what's important to know that, when we are in this fight or flight response, the whole chemistry of our body changes. So our digestive system actually slows down and in extreme cases shuts down. Our blood gets sticky. Oxygen is diverted away from, the midsection of our body into our arms and legs for running. cortisol is released into the bloodstream, and this perception of time is shortened. And so, what's important to know about all that, if what you're wanting to do is lose weight, it tells the body to go into survival response. So it tells the body to hang on to weight, produce more fat, and not build muscle, because all of these things require energy, and the body actually needs all its energy to fight or flee or survive. So and fat is a massive source of energy for the body. So it just wants to hang on to all of it. So if your goal is to lose weight, being in a stressful state is going to be a big blocker for you. So what's the antidote? The antidote is to relax. So the opposite to stress is relaxation. And we can actually do that because as humans, we have an onboard inbuilt antidote to the stress response, which is breathing. So all you need to do is just take a big, long, deep breath in and let it go. Big exhale. Doing a couple of those will actually, within moments, reduce your stress levels, will reduce cortisol and insulin spikes. So there's a technique that the Navy SEALs use in the military to help them, facing incredibly stressful situations. It's called the box breath. And this is something that I do teach my clients if they're, in a very, living in a stressful world. And essentially what it is focusing on your breath. So you would breathe in for 4 counts, hold that breath for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold the breath for 4 counts. So if you just imagine you're breathing around a box, but you need to hold that breath. Do that a couple of times and you'll find that you have all of a sudden calmed the farm. You've got a clearer headspace, and you're able to, deal with the situation in a better way rather than in a highly stressed state. So that's the first one. The second one is rushing. How does rushing affect digestion? Well, I mentioned this earlier. Are you a fast eater? If you are, you're telling your body, oh, something's wrong. I'm being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. I do not want to digest any food. I want to run away. I want to survive. I want to fight or flee. And so eating fast and not eating in a way that you're actually present with your meal sends all the wrong messages to the body. The body will say, well, I don't remember having a meal because I ate too fast. There's no time for the gut to speak to the brain, through this connection. So most of our messages do go from the gut to the brain and then the brain to the gut. So, if you've eaten too fast, your brain's going, well, it's none the wiser. I don't remember having a meal. I don't remember experiencing this meal. And it will actually drive you to eat more. Survival response kicks in. Whoa, this body hasn't been fed. It needs feeding to survive. So it's a part of the weight loss puzzle, and a lot of people don't, realize this is the head phase response of digestion, the cephalic brain response, and it's necessary for your body to know that it's eaten a meal. And so the way that we do this and how I teach my clients in order to reactivate their digestive system so it processes and assimilates all that yummy good food, so that you're getting the nutrition that you need, so you feel fuller for longer. You're getting all the vitamins and minerals. You can eat the best meal in the world, the most organic, the freshest, the everything. But if you're eating it in a stressed state, your body won't take up the nutritional value that that meal has to offer. So it's really important to be able to slow down. Once again, finding time to be present with your meal. So my antidote to rushing, to avoid digestive upset, and for some people that they feel that right in their throat, so it's like food gets stuck, or they feel that reflux, or they feel that in their gut feels like a brick's there. It's just not going down. It doesn't want to go down because your gut is saying, I don't want to digest this food. Let's put a stop to that. So, oftentimes, if you're taking medication for reflux, it could just be that you're eating too fast. So, my suggestion would be, rather than go to an antacid medication, slow down, just really slow down and practice. So the way that we do this, and I teach my client, the antidote is called breathe, eat, repeat. And I've got the instructions for that on the blog. So all of this, and I'll put a link below after this, is all directed to our blog. And if you're on my newsletter list, you'll be getting that. You would have had it in your inbox this morning. So breathe, eat, repeat is just so amazing. You will eat less, you will burn more calories, and you will feel so much more satisfied with your meal. So it's pretty amazing, very simple, but very impactful. The next thing I want to talk about is giving yourself the gift of time. How often do we not do this? And it's something that's so important to help yourself to just slow down. And if you are a to-do list person, I'd encourage you to find out, well, what is your relationship with your to-do list? Is it a good relationship? Is it resistant? I have to do it. Is it overwhelming? Oh my God, there's just too much happening on my to-do list. Oh my God. Or do you feel controlled by what is happening on that list? So, we all have 24 hours in a day, and with our to-do list, no sooner does something drop off, we'll put something back on. If you are a to-do list person, either a physical list or you keep it in your head. But life gets challenged when, we've overpromised or overextended ourselves by constantly letting people know and saying, yes, I'll do that for you. Yes, give that to me. I'll take care of it. And then just adding all the other things on top of that. It's all creating the stress response. So why do we feel compelled to have the biggest and the longest lists in the world? Because we're conditioned to do this. As women, as carers, we're conditioned by the outside world to just do everything. Facebook, TV, LinkedIn, colleagues, friends, mentors. We look at everyone else doing so much, achieving so much, and we think that we need to do the same. But really, at the outside, they might be doing this all appearingly so with ease, but under the water, they're like ducks in a pond. Their little legs are just going frantically. And this is something that we don't see. Busyness on the outset, for a lot of people, appears to be revered by others. That there's an expectation to do so much, because if you're successful, you have to do so much and achieve, all these miraculous things. But the busyness and the overwhelm, again, hey Kerry, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. Busyness and overwhelm just puts us straight back into the stress response. And so we need to have some sort of strategies in our day to manage your stress levels, so that you find that you're not doing everything for everyone else, that you are giving yourself some time to allow yourself to have that gift. So the gift of time is so, so precious. And it's probably one of the hardest things that we find, that, to give to ourselves. So how do we give ourselves that gift of time? How do we reduce our elevated stress when we live in such a busy, stressful world, and we've got so many other external pressures telling us that, well, if we need to, if we want to look this way, if we want to achieve that thing, well, we have to do all this and we have to do all that, plus everything else. So there's a couple of things, but I would just want to go through my three biggest. The first one is to set boundaries. So my three top tips to overcome not being able to give yourself time is set boundaries. Set a boundary about what you will or you will not do. set a boundary around others. So accept that, if you accept that you need time. If you need to shut your laptop down at 5 p.m., that's your boundary. That's what you need to do. If you need to say to someone else, look, whatever this thing is that you're giving me regularly to do, I'm sorry, I can't do that anymore. But my suggestion is this. So set boundaries around your life, for yourself and others. Practice saying no. Once again, we're conditioned to constantly say yes, 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 and because we want to please, we don't want people to think badly of us because we're not doing something, because everyone else seems to do everything. But this can place more external pressure on yourself, and even if it's a foreign concept for you, I just want you to practice saying no. And sometimes, I'll suggest to people to just say, look, can I get back to you on that? I'll let you know tomorrow. So you've got time to go away and think about it and process it and go, well, is this going to be really good for me if I take this on? Is it another thing? Oftentimes, and I hear this, and I've done this myself, I go, yep, I'll do that. And in my mind I'm going, oh my goodness, where am I going to find the time to do that? Oh, well, I'll just get it done, because I always get it done and everyone else expects me to get it done. But the personal cost on you is quite huge. So practice saying no. That's the second thing. The third tip to help give yourself the gift of time is to plan and prepare. Set aside some time during the week, whether that's a Sunday or whether that's a night, maybe it's a Friday night or whenever it might be, the beginning of the week. But set some time aside to plan and prepare how you're going to live your life that week. And I'm talking about food, because if we don't have food, if we don't have good quality food that we've either made ourselves or it's made up of good quality ingredients, the chances are that we go for quick and easy, processed foods aren't helpful for your body. They just give you low energy, bloating, you don't feel good, and that sense of tiredness, and that's not helping you to have the energy to get all the stuff done that you need to get done. So plan and prepare your food rather than opting for the quick fix. So there are my 3 tips, all about stress, what that does to your body, rushing, being a rushing woman, the rushing woman syndrome, and how that affects your digestion, and how important it is to give yourself the gift of time. Now, if you'd like to know more about this, then I am running a workshop at Speed Fit next, which is in North Adelaide in Ward Street. And it's on October the 27th, Thursday night, 6 o'clock. There's an Eventbrite, and I'll put the Eventbrite link in. I'm going to be working with Munira, who is the owner of SpeedFit. And this is an amazing technology, electronic muscle stimulation, where it helps our body to get fitter in only 20 minutes. So with a 20-minute workout, you're hooked up to wires. I've done it. It's amazing. And it's worth 3 hours of work in the gym or exercising. And in fact, it's just so amazing for people who are mobility impaired. Perhaps they've got bad knees, perhaps they've got shin splints, perhaps there are other issues or reasons they just don't like going into a gym. But they know that they need to improve, their muscle tone or lose weight, or just have that sense of I'm doing something to help their body, because movement is really important. And so the talk is all about the power of slow to speed up your results. And if your goal is to lose weight, look, I'm sorry, but it's not a quick fix. It's not a lasting quick fix. So we need to practice a few things, like slowing down first, and then, working from the inside out, so that you can start to get those healthy habits and mindful practices in place that will allow your body to just then release the weight. But of course, it's not just all about food. Movement is really important, and the mind is the other part of it. So that's where we work, here at in my office with the Mind Body Weight Reset program. It's all about making those adjustments, I was going to say minor adjustments, but actually they're major adjustments in your mind, and the deep levels of programming that are there and we're unconsciously not aware of, but they drive behaviors that consciously we know that are not helpful, and we would rather not do them, but we just can't work out why. So that's my job, is to get to the root cause of all of that. And we bring all the pieces of the weight loss puzzle together, right down to lifestyle changes. So, and, things going on from a relationship perspective too, if that is affecting you, which a lot of people don't, they're not aware of. It's only, halfway through our program that they'll go, oh, Suzanne, this is not really my weight. It's not about my problem. It's not about my weight, actually. There's some other stuff going on. And this is where we help to unravel all of that and uncover that, because the other thing is causing the stress response in your body. And so that is the root cause of your weight, which is the symptom of something else that's going on. And that's where we do the deeper work. So that's it from me this morning. Sorry, probably a bit of a long one, but please jump into the blog, have a bit of a read, come along to the come along to the Power of Slow workshop, October 27th. It's free. There's only 25 tickets though. It's a small space. If you want to jump in, listen to about how EMS technology can totally, make amazing changes in your body, and work on ways to slow down for Slowtober, then I would love to see you there. Any questions or comments, pop them into below, and I'll put a link to the blog and to the event in the comments below. All right, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.